We tried to lift the head up in the air, but we didn't really have control of it. So now we're gonna put it down again and then attach a rope to the ears so we can control the movement of the head up there.
Hello, I'm now no longer in Denmark. I'm now in California in a little campsite. It's midnight and I put my boys and my wife to sleep. And this is quite suiting for the story that I'm about to tell you, because this story is a little bit scary. The story takes place around 300 years ago in Denmark, when the locals in Møborg was going to build a church on top of a hill. And so every day the locals would carry timber and big stones up to the top of the hill where they were going to build the church. And then every morning, when they came back to continue the construction, all the stones and the timber would be gone. It had vanished. A troll had taken it.
Didn't we have more? Var der ikke mange flere? Didn't we have more pallets yesterday? I'm sure there was more like 150 yesterday, and now there's only 100.
This is how the legend goes, and how the legend has been passed on through centuries in the little city of Møborg in Denmark. So as I was invited to Møborg to come and build a sculpture, I thought I had to base it upon this local legend. As we all know, churches, they have a bell. And as most of you might know, trolls, they despise the sound of a ringing church bell. And so I thought, what would have happened to the bell of the church that was going to be built some 300 years ago in Møborg? Maybe the troll stole the bell. Maybe the troll shoved 2 locks in its ears to block the sound, while the troll is now playing the bell to lure the humans closer so it can catch them and put them in its little cage.
Scrap! And welcome to Trash Talk with your favorite garbage artist, Thomas Dambo. This week I'm still in Jutland and I'm making another troll of the 4 in total that I'm making here. This one is the one that is called Lotte Lokkeklokke, or Lotte with the luring bell. And this one actually takes time and takes place in an old Danish legend about a troll and a church. Today I wanted just to walk over to the site where I'm building, because yes, sometimes you get lazy and then you drive even though it's 10 minutes away, but it's like one of the greatest things about to build the trolls in nature is that you get to be in nature, but of course it also becomes normal. But when I'm writing all my poems, it's always good to walk, because you have like your rhythm for the poem in your legs, the 1, 2, 3, 4. So that keeps you like in check for that you have the right amount of syllables for the different lines in your rhymes. Because all my poems and my rhymes that I spent a great time doing, they are all written from the technique that I learned when I was a rapper for 10 years. And now I'm actually setting out to write the new rhyme for my new big traveling exhibition that's called a field study. So I thought that, you know, in Danish you say that the craziest stories that you hear, they're based in reality. They're wilder than your imagination. So I just wrote this as I was walking. They say it's too good to be true, and not true factually, but fact is that reality exceeds your wildest fantasy. I thought that would be a good opening for my new poem. So I raised my sons to dumpster dive, and I raised my girls to dumpster dive. So the bell just arrived. The bell is 900 kilos, so it's a really heavy bell. It's a really old bell, and it's also a really expensive bell. Now we have to try and get it up in the little quadro pot over here with the Manitou and some specialists. Actually, one of my old friend Linnea with the pink hair came to help, so that's pretty exciting.
have to be very careful that you're not hitting anybody or smashing the bell.
$1,795 it says on it, so it's a big old bill. We got it up there, everything looks to be going good. Now we just have to put the little bolt and the nut on, so it could be hanging there good and solid for the next long time.
I'm gonna clad this underside of the foot, like put wood on it. So I'm drawing up where to put the wood and which gaps to keep open.
Yeah, she's gonna have some little jagged edges. She's been out in the woods for a bit, stealing from churches, so she's looking a little haggard.
The idea of a lot of people working together is very cool. The connection while we're building it, rather than afterwards. It's right now it's important.
I really like the concept. I think it can bring a lot of people get out in the woods and like see other sides of like other places.
I think the troll's head is pretty unique. I think the reusable materials are very unique. We don't usually do a lot of that stuff around, but it's nice to see for the climate and all that.
We're on time, yeah, but we cannot chill out too much.
This rope here, he made it on his him and his father's farm. Because when in the summer they would cut the grass and make a hay bale. Many hay bales. Hvor mange høballer lavede så på et år?
Altså, det var høballer var halmballer.
Halmballer, ja.
Ja, men omkring 5.000.
5,000 hay bales in 1 year. And then they would save a lot of them. Some of them they would sell or keep for the winter and then feed it to the horses and the cows. But then the hay bales are then wrapped in a string that keeps the hay together. So then when the animals they ate it, the strings would be left on the ground inside the stable inside the barn. And then they would take them and then hang them on inside the barn. And then when there is enough, they will then take those rope, then take 3 of them and spin them together to one like this, and then take 3 of those ones and then spin them in together to the rope. And that's why you can see there's these knots here for every 2-3 meters, because that's how long the pieces of string was around the hay bale. So this is a recycled hay bale rope that John has painted.
Yeah, we're just doing the finishing touches. So the fur needs to happen up here. And we have some lovely volunteers working on a cage over there. And yeah, so we have several teams working simultaneously to get this done. The first thing we do is get the hair on. It's going to be lying quite flat on her face. And Chris is leaning over. There'll probably be a few coming over her ears and flowing down. But most of it will be going back and lying flat on her head and her back.
this story inspired me to make this troll that is holding a church bell. And I was actually sitting at a little bodega having a beer with my lovely graphic designer Søren. And then we spoke about this. Could we get a big bell and how could we make that work? And how could we lift that big bell and get it in here? And now it's there and I'm really, really proud. I think it looks awesome. Mange tak for det. Lotte har en klokke. Klokken har en melodi, der aldrig stopper med at ringe. Det er ren hekseri. Så før du hører Lottes klokke, løb og gå i hi. For har du først hørt lokkeklokken, klapper fælden i.
thank you